Damn it. Not by any means am I a master using this program. However, I have learned a bit here and there and figured I'd make a few vids to show others what I've learned. Alright, well, we'll start off with something small. We'll go down to here, I'll go up, get ground F, open it up. I like to use 10 by 15 units. Once you got a little base started, you go over here to the name. Always name it, really help with sorting things out. And now we'll try to find, I don't know, let's see, what would be a good little cave base for this? And, yeah, we can use this one. Alright, now you're going to take this, start it off a little bit here, and do the outsides. Do the outsides, kind of makes it more of a cave look, more natural. Come back around, stop there. And then we're gonna kind of fill in the blanks here and there, and name this floor base. Alright, now that we've got our base done, we can come in here and do the bevel. This is an important part for things that are in here that I like to use. For this, we're gonna do both black, increase this a little bit, it gives it a nice little depth. Really helpful if you want to try to give it a little sense that it's actually in ground, underground, you got walls, really super helpful. Make sure it's good. And then we're gonna go back and we're gonna do a little bit of effects up on the base layer. This is kind of give it a little bit darker feel so the colors don't contrast too much. And once we get that all set up, we will start adding things. Right now we're going to do something I like to do for caves, is like kind of like a bonfire, give it a, basic bandit hideout. They probably have something cooking or something. I'm going to put that right there, drag that back up, make this kind of its own little thing, and we're going to kind of not really worry about that for a bit. Always try to make sure you kind of look on the outside. You got to look at that, make sure you can actually get a way in and out. I do that all the time. I mess up, I have to go back and do it. Alrighty, now let's see. Now we got our own little cart right here. Make that decent size. It'll be 3. Each block is about 3 by 3. Now, if something you gotta do is make it look like it can actually fit in there, so it's not just suddenly magically found its way in there. And let's throw some stuff up on the cart. Alright, let's see. Do little angles, kind of make it look more natural. Because doing that, I mean, don't want to have gigantic keg up on a little cart. Now for these, you want to stack them kind of look a little different. I mean, they're bandits, they're not trying to make it look nice and neat. I like to use different little crates here and there. Make it look like, they're bandits, they're grabbing things from random people. Not everyone uses the same boxes. Throw some shadows on there, and we can actually get a little bit of depth, gives it a little bit more of a 3D effect. And then we're gonna get up here, put it all together, and we're gonna make another folder called items. I like to use this for just random stuff. This is when you don't have to be specific about naming stuff. And going for beds, moving around here and there, and we'll just start putting stuff on there. Now that we got all that done, let's go through and try to work on this campfire a bit. I like to use, with things like this, for any smoke or lighting effects, I like to use either the basic Dungeonville and usually like one of the snow patterns. Alright, we're going to do a little bit outside there. Make sure we group them together right after we get all this done. And you want to do it where the very outside is where you want to put the dot, like right here. We're going to go a little bit off the beaten path here, kind of make it look like light is going off in different directions. I know we crossed a little bit in the middle of the edge right there, but it's going to be a very light layer, so we don't have to worry about too much. Now I'm going to kind of go back and forth with the sliders a little bit for the opacity. This is, you just want from the outside is going to be the lowest to build into the greatest that's right next to the fire. This is going to represent the light level. Now we're going to create a couple effects with tints and try to, as closer we are to the fire, we want to try to mimic it as much as possible. So it looks a little bit more natural. Alright, and for each layer we're going to do a different effect for it. And a little tedious, but it helps me get the most accurate colors for this. And we're kind of bouncing back and forth between the colors. You gotta compare them, move the sliders a little bit, sometimes it sticks. Alrighty, and I think we're almost done with the second. Now let's work on a third. Alrighty. Right about there. Looks to be good. When we play with sliders, you notice the color changes, like some brighten a little bit. Sometimes that's the part that really gets stuck. Alright, change a little bit of the colors, make it more of a fade out natural. And then maybe we can do something with a campfire. Nah, I think I'm just gonna do a light shadow, just so it kind of makes it look like it's a little bit better. I think we're gonna start on the shadows. Kind of a tricky thing. I'm still kind of learning the tricks and gimmicks with it, but I recently started this and I kind of started liking it. But first we're gonna trace around the long edge of it. Make our own little folder for it, but whatever object we're gonna do it right along the edge. Try to line it up as best you can so it's like split in half and half. And then we're going to do that thing where we go right across the line with the center dot, or the edge. Alrighty, now that we got that done, we'll do it again. And this one we want to go kind of into the other bits of shadow. And you don't have to move it back and forth. This is my favorite thing about the brush, is you can just stop, edit, paint, erase, make your little corrections without having to go back and forth and mix things up. Alright, we're going to put them together, and that kind of looks like a little bit more natural. Now, let's see. Alrighty, and I think we're going to group those together, kind of make this log one, and we're going to go through anything around the campfire. We're going to do that too. We'll do this log over here. Yeah, they set it up for sitting or something. Campfire songs, who knows. Alright, now we're all going to do this thing. This is part of that about the paint part that really super great with the brushes when you're editing. Change the opacity a little bit, and I think we're going to do that second layer. Alright. Coming in, and prime example, messing up. It's important for this to do multiple layers, makes it a little bit more natural, more of a fade. And for these little rocks, it's just kind of a, don't have to go too depth with that, you just got to put a little bit of a shadow. Because, I mean, they're not going to be sending that dark shadow out there. Nah, I mean, this definitely we're going to put a little shadow on. And the rocks give a little something. The big one will add another layer. See, that makes it a little bit more like it's giving off a shadow. It's big, it's light's reflecting against it. Alright. Let's see now. For the campfire, I like to use the effects pack. For a lot of this is just about this smoke and different little effects we can do with it to make it look natural. We're going to put down this pretty smoke, move it up to the top layer, and that gives it a nice little smoke effect right there. After that, we will start adding actual little, kind of like maybe a little mist or a fog inside there. Maybe, you know, they don't have good ventilation, or maybe it's a little bit of musty. Alright, we'll put this around here, make sure this is all in the same folder, and all this, we'll try to give them different effects. Sometimes, depending on how your map is, you can add these little effects and gives it a little bit more of a 3D effect again. And we'll add a little bit more shadows to that using the effects tab. And items, and we'll take a little bit of a look at these beds. What can we do? We'll try bevel. And now let's work on this outside. Now, as you finish all this is done, once you have all your items in there, sometimes you want to make this a little bit darker. Try to give it more of a wall sense. Now, experiment how you will, depending on how you want your walls pronounced. This is kind of like how you go from here. I want to try to give mine a little bit more of a height, a little bit more shadow in there. And yeah, we'll go from there. Move that away from the wall. Try to make it look like it's not actually different layered how it actually is, but it makes it like an actual wall. Alrighty, and I think the last part we're gonna do. Oh, forgot about the chest. Gotta have a chest. Alright. Chest, you want to try to put in there real quick. That's going to be like your player's little loot stash after they beat the entire bandits. Final part is going to be this overlay to give it a little darker sense. You can just put anything down there, hit edit, and then just pick whatever you want. Again, I like to go to snow. Snow is kind of like my go-to for any overlay effects. It's really easy to tint and give that either a darker effect or give it, sometimes I use it underwater. Alright, test it out, and there we go. All said and done. You can check your little opacity and make it dark as light as you want. And here we go. Bandit Hideout. I'm gonna save this real quick. Make a little folder for it. Basic Bandit Hideout, and put down the name so I know what it is. Thanks for watching my first video. I plan on doing more, going over different things I learned individually in future videos. If you like the video, hit me up a thumbs up, and if you have any tips or questions, just hit me down in the comment section and I'll try to respond as best I can. Thanks for watching. Mustache out.